day at the channel. I am playing some more Genshin. Sorry if it's a little laggy. We are going to, this is the new update. Yes, I have Eula and a new glider. This is the wishing. We got, I forgot his name. We got Yanlin and the two new, and we got a new bow and Yanlin's bow. We have this one, a test run and stuff. We got her, she's a new 4-star we have. We got his story quest. We got this quest. We have this. We have this new boss. This new boss. Heck, did my keyboard turned off? Gonna turn back on or? Oh crap, hang on. Give me a second. There we go. We have the new battle pass and stuff. We also got a few new weapons. Yes?
I want to make mini Halloween donuts. And I had to make the donut body first and brush it so the donuts look cooked before I decorate them. I made Cheerios. Look at those. They look like little Cheerios. Don't they look identical to Cheerios? I'm going to sneaky what these are. These are.
Great. Sorry about my mother. Sorry about that, guys.
Hello?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made?
Oh, no,
These must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run.
Wow. So,
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
hey, is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you.
Practice makes a perfect thing, but with an apple on top. Those apples. Why did you say that's supposed to be a cake?
I didn't know it was supposed to be like something else.
I have to redo it to make it come out the way I want it, but that's why you practice it. Never done.
I got my mother once again.
But basically,
Huh?
well, I'm not completely... When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
Okay. Sorry about my mother. She's been obsessed with Snow White's frozen apple stuff. That's what she said.
So that's what... Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief.
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called numu. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no? 7.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we...
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland...
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tone...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm unsure that...
You can run, but you can't hide. Tidal wave. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Easy, man.
Oh, what's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Even though he's not using his
Huh.
vision,
That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
that was a delusion.
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because...
Huh? What kind of reason it...
I don't know, but recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was it was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, because I had awakened it. And
But what is
She never explained that. In my dream,
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned...
that's just an abstract. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind.
So you used the whale as inspiration? So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she...
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found no...
Oh, it sounds...
Yeah, I'm out of... Oh,
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
no. It's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's...
Official champion duelists? You mean it's...
Yep.
Star Rail.
In Fontaine, before a criminal goes for it, all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-hold, so engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your... And the worst case scenario, though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before.
Oh, before I forget, I want you...
Huh? You're...
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short...
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't...
Whatever gave you...
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever. Well, seems we don't have much... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was sorry. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from my publishing house. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are... It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too. Oh, sorry about that. Lenny said that the Opera House is on air in ES, so let's go ride the Aquabus.
Mind it. Mind is my thing. Ooh. Okay. Hey guys, I've already unlocked all of the places and almost all the waypoints. I know. I'm going to
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! Huh? Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and...
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if there are kids...
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of
Vache,
What's wrong?
Vache, Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's custom. Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare
I see. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry?
Wait, what?
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh,
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water of Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
so what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing it...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Linny might help him relax a little before he goes on
That's
stage.
his name. That's the character's name.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon. Good to see you. I knew you two would...
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world.
I can tell, judging by how... But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house.
What are we talking about?
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already...
Ooh, front row seat.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep...
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
It's assistant, I believe.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny. Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down. Uh, uh, hey,
Wait.
traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to you little...
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I would be perfect.
Oh, so you heard all of that? Wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry. Paimon's the one who... Oh, Paimon's got it.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linny would like to be my friend, I would be...
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then. Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just...
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Report right here.
I am...
This should be the corporate.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
No. I cannot say that name.
Ah, Mr. Linny.
Wait. Nervillet?
He looks like he could be best
Could he
friends
be...
with- or not. I almost said D-Luke. Looks like he could be best friends with Sean.
Hmm? I saw you. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice.
Whoa! for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. And by the way, there's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a... I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and... So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become...
I've already met her.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfying...
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention.
Huh? Was this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much...
Yay! The show's finally going to start!
What?
Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting!
Quiet, Paimon.
Sorry.
Quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may...
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely... So, both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what...
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. Oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully.
Wait, now.
With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Huh?
Slowly.
inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage. Right.
That's right.
Thank you, everyone. But our magical journey has the magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. In which case, I have... So, for my next trick, I will... Please, if my assistants could bring up... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you...
Wow, how's he gonna do? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpowers?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random... It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin.
What is it?
Oh, let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside them. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully... You don't need to do anything. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find...
Oh.
All right. Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slow. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough...
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice to... Come on, repeat after... 60! That's right, perfect!
54? 53? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough, merely a consequence of my...
Oh, alright. You looked so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable.
40! 39! 30! Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just It would be a disaster if we get sent...
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't...
25! 24! 20! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear...
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my...
19!
It seems things aren't quite going as... It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now.
8!
Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What?
Huh?
What?
Is this part of... Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the god of...
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of... Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, and after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance.
Huh.
And there are many indications.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really... I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing.
That can't be right! How could Lenny do it? He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even... Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching himself!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linny?
Huh? But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, that's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? After all, he was... Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we... But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring, so no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better
It wasn't a
I understand. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linny and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlet...
Lenny!
Sorry about everything that happened.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing it?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could... Good to hear. I'm sure everyone sees me. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Have good taste, Lynette.
That's right attitude. But with the guards watching our good thing you agreed to be our—
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover— we should go somewhere else if we're going to
All right, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the... Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with... This is the real mystery. We've already searched. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both...
Perhaps...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you invest...
So this is the... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look, most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. Wait, why don't you write all this down?
I'm not writing this. Okay, good, because I'm...
The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later. Her name is Halsey. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House,
But she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic. The magic troop members all have looked at connection. It seems that she has no personal. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances. That's how it seems to us.
Okay then.
No need to be so full. It is of utmost importance.
The investigation team...
See?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation.
You're trying to help them?
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very...
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
I can seriously not take time off serious with those classes.
I see that you're if you find any new...
We don't have too many... The thud?
Yes, exactly. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important... I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind Pine...
Linny's still talking to the guards. It seems I think someone...
Hey, you! Yes, both of you.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the...
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to... And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle...
Huh? Boss.
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to... Okay! All merely trifling That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance case. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think... But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not... Anyway.
Sounds more...
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times. All right, I've answered your question. Now,
Never mind.
it's time you...
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Maloose?
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the travelers, no matter how wonderful the script, and if that can be done,
All right, that's quite enough, Maloose. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with... Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since we're...
Oh,
Me first.
That's more like
Become
it.
best friends with some people. Then attorney. Now he's citizens. Wow.
far be it from you wish to save a...
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you...
I have nothing to add.
Oh,
we'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lenny's tricks. Thanks!
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your...
no, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes! After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much...
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through... All right, thank you for your help. Of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we?
Ooh.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as...
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this? Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they...
Fine. Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the...
Weren't there...
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from...
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not... The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out the two magic. See this the box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So...
Precisely. So
that's how you...
Once the box was... The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right. You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had arrested our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where...
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one... And that's my favorite part of...
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick... But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with...
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Give me a second, I was popping my fingers.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone. We're...
Hey! So...
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, why would there be water?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the
That can't be. The trolley moves along.
Let's note this down.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon does...
Wait a second. Did her glasses change?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been...
Alone, perhaps.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once...
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnel's become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see—
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death. No wonder Farene's so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be, to put it simply...
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Let's get this done. Okay, what's this? Okay.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial. Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case of time.
I They do out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said...
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our find?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a... Just kidding! Paimon...
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just...
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy... Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is demoiselle's favorite. Strong. No need for concern.
And I have done a little bit.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in it? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible... Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great! They're not...
They are...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose, Malus, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't...
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg.
Well...
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got... It would be awkward.
All right. Thanks for your help. And...
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right. It's time to put our heads together. We've got it... do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest,
No, we're already very...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that you're... That was to be expected, of course. The guilt, but don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe...
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is that...
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud...
Huh?
Hey, hang on.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that...
I was right by the box, and I definitely...
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like...
So the serial disappearances...
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
that's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is...
Let's explain all of our evidence.
The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Heart. Are these claims true? Please answer.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after... In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little...
Well, this is awkward. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Paimon just knew it. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed, but our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, that's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything... Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd... You met a Fatu, but still, I'm asked...
Sorry. Please,
Well, you're both right. Let's...
Of course. I'll answer any question. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. During our investigations, from that moment on...
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice, which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only... That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that if we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Hope!
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her
That took long enough. Now that at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the... Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before... Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced...
Okay, I'm just pressing because I don't know why. Okay. What can be done then?
According to Linny...
Okay.
Linny went to the room... Linny did...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent! Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Why did you say he
That's
could
right!
hear it? He could.
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, that?
That's right, you tell him!
And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof... Of course, you're saying that he wasn't?
sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof.
Well, to think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person involved? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or could there have been a third person? The deceased's name is Cowell.
Huh? That can't be right.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be... No one entered or left the opera house through it. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny as well. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted? No one entered or left. The deceased's name is Cowell. The deceased's name is Cowell. It would have been tough for both. Halsey's clothing was in...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring...
I see.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not just like the trick as it transpired?
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. The vase was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! Lynette escaped. If they're...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? Magic tricks are...
Even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties, as such, we believe...
You've got to be kidding! Could something so ridiculous actually be...
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your
Let's go. Just try...
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of... Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Hall's... Guards, please continue examining the items of... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please...
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe...
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
This case would be over if it had strongly instinct so. And... Jane.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Nahida could do this.
The water from the primordial sea. The rope that strung the water to... Lynette was in the magic box. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
He probably did. All it's incorrect. Okay.
Now it seems like the hook rope with... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Now it seems like the hook rope, the rope that strung the
What? I have no idea what to
The
do.
rope that strung the Now it seems like the hook rope... Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The water from the primordials... Lynette was in the magic... The deceased's name is Cowell. Lynette was in the magic... I remember there was some... The water from the primordials... I remember there was something else... I remember there was something... Now it seems like the hook rope was not...
Okay, I'm confused. Okay, that's Evans. That's Evans.
The deceased's name is Now it seems like the hook rope was not... I remember
break it
there was
down?
some...
You said we had broken down? Okay, yes.
Ahem! It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, plan, Cowl would tamper with the water. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the... Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel. But he...
Huh. That does make...
That actually links together a lot of the more confused...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstance. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new... I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Does this not clear? My dear citizens, my loyal audience...
Oh my goodness, not again.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do... Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straight... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the...
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. Seems...
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have... And I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good...
Excuse me, everyone, but...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh. Right before... What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirect. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a... Come on, Linny. But as the magic makers and stars of the...
I understand.
And, well...
Sorry.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So, the whole thing about people dissolving what—
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one, but I was just feeling happy.
That'll teach you.
Where should I begin?
But...
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so that's how I make a living. I steal stuff here. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely...
Hey! No wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector choked. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costume. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm...
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire...
Start the story time machine. The tunnel. Hazy the fuck.
The strange sound...
What's in the tunnel? No, that was just a water breaking.
The flower vase was...
Okay, I'm getting better at this. Okay. No.
Lily-Ann was...
And it's Ace Detective time on time!
Oh my goodness.
Having been selected, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved. He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect. He tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top. Not with no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid...
Go on.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last...
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to...
Ah, so that... Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not...
What? Are you reading? No. I have no further.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the... Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lily-Ann. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, Lily-Ann according to her own statements. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus from this reconstruction. While there is much in Linny and Lily-Ann's conduct that should still be investigated, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, how did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, our boss. It can also be made into a. We've been in this.
What?
He turned into water. Oh my goodness! Oh.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Well, that was pretty great. Round of applause for you.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess I didn't approach you with any ulterior. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those. That was how Father, who you might know as...
The knave? The one who controls the House of the...
That's right. Back when our parents to survive, I took my sister, to my surprise, before long, and...
So you went from orphan...
That was how we felt it, but he would constantly...
That doesn't seem...
After I waited a long the answer he gave me was...
Oh no.
As far as outsiders are concerned, I managed to ferret out the location. All I saw was the moonlit ground.
So, she...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so the House of the Hearth, I was hesitant to but she was also
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first...
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the... Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. To us orphans...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pot...
It's all right. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never... If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to...
Bye, Linny!
I got achievements. I got achievements too.
Hey there. What was goes with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended.
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack and give...
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers. Sorry. I might have been too
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having such fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into... Wait.
Huh? Do we...
Well, I'd just like to have... Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist my...
Oh, wonderful. In that...
All right, then.
Okay, Act 1. There's more. There's more. Well, as much as you guys want to see this part, I'm sorry, but it's time for this video to end. Hope you guys have a good day. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I will be making a part 2 on this. I thought I wasn't going to have to, but apparently I am. Hope you guys have a great day, and bye guys.